What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name is Evan. We are finally back again for some more Trove on the Xbox. Well, I almost messed up on my intro. It's been such a long time, dude. Seriously, I miss you guys. It has been forever since I ended up doing an Xbox episode. And those PS4 fans out there, don't you worry, folks. I'm going to have a PS4 episode out right quick, as fast as I can. So for today, we're going to be talking most of all about like what the changes to the classes are since the Eclipse update, and as well as just which classes are going to end up being the strongest. I still do have to make videos talking about like the best subclasses, yada yada yada, and all that stuff. But I mean, you know, like, while I'm enjoying myself with all the tutorials and stuff like that, they're definitely a lot of work for me. At least it's easy because it gives me something to talk about in a video that I can present to all of you folks. But man alive, does it keep me busy. Like, you know, I haven't had any time to actually hang out and do all of this crazy stuff. I'm also playing at like 2 in the morning or something. That's why, like, everyone's dead and no one's actually around. So let's just get right to it, folks. Man alive, the Eclipse update. What do you think about it? Kind of seems to be hit or miss with a lot of people. You know, there's actually a lot of people that have been quitting because of the update. I don't blame them. But then there's other people that are just really, really excited about it. Thank you for actually knowing how to use the bombs. I'm really happy about that because I don't have any bombs because I'm poor on the consoles. Like, seriously. I think that the Eclipse update's pretty good. Yeah. Right. I think that's pretty good. You know, I like the Eclipse bosses and how they roughed out the Shadow Towers and actually made it feel a bit more complete. But in a lot of ways, I feel that the devs ended up holding back on a lot of things more so than they needed to. Like with the whole dragon shard thing, or dragon fragments, it's just a little bit of a gross system. And then on top of that, also just the way that the new content works, you know, like it's like the kind of the rebalancing to the Shadow Towers is something that I don't really understand, because it's like that the Shadow Towers is something like they didn't change the Shadow Towers pretty much since the beta. Outside of maybe adding a couple different variations of arenas, they really didn't change it much until the Eclipse update. That's why it's such a big deal. But anyways, whatever. That's just my own personal opinion about it. You know, I think that the gems that like what they did with the gems, I think honestly is poop. Like the re-rolling and gem augmenting is fine. That's actually a fantastic idea, a great update to the game. But the way that it was delivered and executed, that was just trash. You know, like time gating most of the content is just like, that's never the way to go, because then that in my mind kind of forces players to play the game for longer, rather than actually incentivizing players to play for longer. You know what I mean? I'm really just waiting for us to rubber band before, like, off of the cliff or something, like our buddy back there just did. I also don't want to use my ult on this random enemy. So, obviously, I haven't really been grinding that much on the console. I mean, do I ever? You know, console has never really been my main. Most of all, I just do it to hang out with you fine, beautiful people, which it seems like nobody's on right now, which is pretty crazy. Then again, like I said, you know, I haven't been on for, like, such a long time. But yeah, I haven't really been grinding much because on PC I've been grinding like absolute crazy, like a psychopath, dude, trying to get that stupid dread mount, which I have heard some people got it on the Xbox. I haven't actually seen anybody with it, but it would be great if I could get some footage of it. That would be absolutely awesome. Discord is pretty much the best way that you can reach me, although I was busy for the past couple weeks because most of all I was taking a little bit of time off. I didn't really talk about it in a vlog video or anything. I'm gonna have a vlog video come out sometime soon that is going to mention like what's actually been going on with my personal life, because that's the biggest thing that's been going on. Is there's been so many changes in my personal life, dude. It's absolutely insane. So anyways, you don't care about that. Let's talk about the classes. Can we get our ice dragon fragment? That would be nice. I wouldn't be able to craft it anyways because we're on console, but whatever, who cares? Let's talk about the classes. So the biggest change of all, of course, is to the Fae. They've rebalanced the character so that it is something that's viable for the end game. Those of you out there that are like, I love the Fae, even when it was a trash character, I mained it. Well, now you can main it, folks. And it's actually viable. It's actually really, really powerful. And I would say that it's probably a draw, if not a little bit under the Gunslinger as far as the best Shadow Tower class, because for the Shadow Tower classes, Gunslinger, you know, is pretty much the top just because his shots do crazy amounts of damage. The Fae actually does a little bit more damage, but the Gunslinger has more area of effect, which of course makes it more viable. You guys and your UFOs, I don't have those right now. What is this weird Christmas house too? Oh, it's a balloon attached to a castle. Dude, that's a fantastic cornerstone. And I didn't even know you could use these coins in your cornerstone. Then again, I haven't modified my cornerstone for years. Especially when it got broken, and then I sent in a ticket, and the response was like, we're gonna have to like reset your entire account. And I was like, no, don't do it. I'll fix the roof myself. Don't worry about it. You ever had that happen where half your cornerstone just randomly deletes? But yeah, anyways, Gunslinger, Fate Trickster, Dino Tamer is another big one that people really underestimate, but is fantastic for Shadow Towers. As far as grinding, though, you know, we'll talk about that in a minute, because first of all, I just wanted to mention that the Neon Ninja is poop in Shadow Towers because they ended up making a change to the Cursed Skulls. Now we're starting to get a party going on. I like it. The Cursed Skulls now actually go invisible when you activate them. The reason that they made that change was most of all for ranged characters, because their projectiles would get stuck on the Cursed Skulls. But there was a side effect that the devs seemed to overlook, is that it single-handedly made the Neon Ninja useless in Shadow Towers. You can still use him if you want, but he's not really ideal just because of the fact that now you can't charge your attacks on the Cursed Skulls, so you have a lot less survivability, and yeah, that guy's actually rocking the Rage Speed build on console. I'm impressed. No, seriously, like that, how do you even do that at 2 frames a second? No, but really, how does he do it? Yeah, so as far as farming is concerned, that's what I was gonna go into next. Farming, not really much has changed. Neon Ninja is still the absolute fastest. Lots of people like to argue otherwise. I don't really know why. I think it's just because people get stuck with this mentality of, this is my favorite character, thus it's the strongest. No, that's not how the game works, you know? It's not like the Neon Ninja is my favorite class in the game, but I'm willing to admit that he's the fastest farmer just because of his backflip, giving him the movement speed. Also, now you can get that extra movement speed with the Knight buff, the Knight subclass ability, which means, you know, if you're using your mount and stuff like that for any reason while using the Neon Ninja, of course it's going to be that much faster. Now, you can use any class that you want for grinding. It's just that the Neon Ninja is the fastest. He's the most efficient, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to play it, because as I always say, you know, play the character that you enjoy playing, because honestly, folks, you know, lots of people used to ask me a long time ago, before I, you know, was playing Trove for such a long period of time that people just kind of expect me to be playing it. A long time ago, people would always ask me, why haven't I quit yet? Especially with all the craziness of the updates and, you know, the things that they go backwards with and forwards with and stuff. Is everybody else actually seeing this? Like, are they all seeing this as well? Yeah, they are. We're all dancing around an invincible enemy. What is this? This is so stupid. Okay, I guess we're out of here. So long, fam. That's lit, dude. Like, seriously, I've never seen that before. So yeah, people would always ask me, like, why haven't I quit yet? And honestly speaking, it's because I play the characters that I enjoy and I do what I enjoy. So, like I said, you know, I've been playing PC a lot lately and just grinding the Dread, because honestly, I'm kind of done with farming, at least for now, until there's a little bit more incentive, or until I just start feeling a little bit more like running through dungeons over and over and over again, right? This one really oddly reminds me of the pumpkin dungeon that you're going to end up seeing in the Jurassic biome when the Halloween event ends up coming around the corner. That's going to be very, very cool. Another thing, too, I do want to mention, just as far as class changes is coming, the Knight, the devs have confirmed they are going to overhaul, so that is probably going to end up being in a couple months when we get the club update, which is going to be the next big update. Not necessarily the next update, it's just going to be the next big one that's going to be equivalent to pretty much what we've seen with the Eclipse and the Megalithic and stuff like that. Ooh, this is one of my favorite dungeons, albeit a bit confusing sometimes. So I'm assuming what they're going to do with the Knight, folks, honestly speaking, I think he's going to still remain as one of the most boring characters to play, but most likely they're going to end up kind of changing his stats around, similar to what they ended up doing with the Fae, which can actually make it a viable character, which is great. But the whole thing that, the whole thing that Trove does, which is kind of what it boils down to, right? Like, for all the complexity of what this game is, what it really boils down to is attack animation. So you got all these characters that are equally powerful, but then some of them just have faster attack animations than others, which makes them better and more powerful and just faster at grinding and killing and stuff like that, right? Like the Candy Barb. He's fantastic just because you either do your spin attack, which hits all the enemies around you and can cause mega damage if you've got him really, really buff. And then his ult, which, I mean, that'll kill almost anything in the game just because the damage numbers on it are so insane. And, I mean, seriously, dude, like, it's just because of the quickness of the skills, that's the big thing about him that separates him from the others, you know what I mean? So, yeah, as far as, like, the strongest characters, I would say to use the Neon Ninja for farming if you want the most efficient, but otherwise, Gunslinger pretty much has the hardest hits in the game. You're going to also see the Barb being very, very powerful, like, he's got some mega damage on him, but unfortunately, one thing that also ended up happening with this Eclipse update, folks, is melee characters became useless in Shadow Towers. Like, they really did, didn't they? That's one of the big things. Like, if you're sitting there really, really frustrated about the update, wondering, like, how come you can't actually complete Shadow Towers anymore and stuff like that, are you actually playing as a melee character? I'd be interested to know. Let me know with your feedback in the comment section down below if you feel so inclined, because I have a pretty good assumption that most of the people that are struggling with Shadow Towers are playing melee characters, because melee characters don't do well in Shadow Towers anymore, especially just because, not only because you're building pretty much all your characters in the entire game to damage DPS characters, but tanking is almost impossible in Trove in general, let alone with a melee character where you're up close and personal and just taking constant damage from all of the enemies and stuff like that, right? So it's absolutely crazy. But anyways, folks, that's all the time that we have for today. I just gotta rush this video out to all of you, and most of all, I wanted to touch base and just say, hey, how's it going? We're still here. I'm not gonna be quitting the console versions anytime soon. It's just that I've had other priorities going on, not to mention, like I said, just kind of been taking a little bit of a break from recording like the actual series episodes, like the Let's Plays, because for these episodes we kind of just wander around, kill a bunch of things, and I just talk about like new information. But there's been so much to actually talk about that I've been trying to section it all off into tutorials and stuff like that, just because it's much easier than trying to have like 50 different episodes encapsulating and talking about so many different things, you know what I mean? So in any case, for today we've got a very special prize. We're actually going to be giving away 5 Streamer Dream Boxes, which Streamer Dream Boxes are going to be an item that's randomly going to give you a streamer ally, wings, or a mount that are related to streamers and stuff like that, like live streamers. It's always going to end up giving you something that you haven't unlocked, so if you're only missing like one of the items, you're going to be able to get it out of the box. But then we're also going to be giving away 1 Moonwing Dragon code that they ended up throwing me and a bunch of the other content creators for the Eclipse update, which is really, really weird and strange that they threw us the Moonwing Dragon for the Eclipse update. You know, it was kind of like gross in a lot of ways, but a free dragon's a free dragon, right? So if you want any of those, folks, all I ask is you hit that like button to qualify, and then you gotta leave a comment in the comment section down below. We don't need your username or anything like that because these are codes, so you're going to get a message back from my man Nintendo Gamer, who's going to tell you the specifications of, hey, you've won, here's how you claim your prize. And otherwise, I wish you all the fondest of days ever, and I hope that you, you know, really enjoyed today's episode. Well, not really enjoyed it. I know that we just kind of wandered around, but I hope that you enjoyed the episode anyways, and I hope that you enjoy the series, everybody, because really, you know, Trove means a lot to me. You all mean a lot to me, and you know, I want to say I'm sorry that it took so long to get an Xbox episode. And again, if there's PS4 fans watching, I'm going to have a PS4 episode coming out as soon as I can, but I've got a couple other tutorials that I do have set up as well. I'm hoping to get a PS4 episode within the next couple days, though. In any case, Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content, as well as building up loyalty points for my merch store, where you can pick up this shirt. We got a couple other designs and stuff like that. Links are in the description for that. What the loyalty points do is you're going to be able to redeem them for a bunch of different rewards, which there's only really one right now, and I want to set up a bunch more when I find the time. But, oh man, have I been busy. Sign on, stay epic, everybody.